see. And up in the corner, you've got new. And when you click on new, you've got a form, and you can just type in directly whatever your best practice. Does anybody have one that they'd like to share with us right now?
Yeah, let's hear some best practices.
Yeah, if we've got one, we can actually just put it in right now. Indirect. Okay, stand up and give me your club name.
Yeah, I'm Rita. I'm from Oslo.
Okay, so it's the American
Women's Club of Oslo.
And I can ask you to write it out, not A, you know, oh no, we did the thing, so it's A.
Or AWC Oslo.
Oslo,
Yeah.
okay. And the title?
Welcoming new members.
Okay.
There are two things, but the first is...
Oh, wait.
Okay. Ready?
And your club size? You know why we ask club size? Because clubs that are quite small might want to look at best practices of other clubs that are quite small. They're quite different issues if your club is over 300 and your club is under 50, no?
Or 100 plus, if I'm reading that right.
Okay. And do you have a clubhouse? No.
No.
Okay. And so what this would be, welcoming new members would be under membership, right?
Yes.
So click the box and it's going to go into that category. If you happen to have a best practice that would fit into a couple of categories, just click them all. You know, that's fine. Okay, and let's say what it is.
There's two things actually, but at every meeting we have a designated table for new members. It has a sign, and our membership coordinator always sits there, and we all know that we need to go out of our way to make those new women feel welcome. It's a simple thing, but it seems to really help people. They also connect with each other, which I guess sometimes when you're coming to a club and you're new, you don't feel like you have the friend circle, and we don't want people to feel like outsiders. So, and then the other thing, our president hosted a new members brunch, where we on the board, we did it as a potluck, where the board members, we made the food. It was at our president's house, and the new members or potential new members were invited to come and enjoy a meal. And I think that also sealed the deal for some people who were thinking about joining them, but kind of pushed them into, yeah, this is the kind of group I want to be a part of this. So.
Is that kind of it? I mean, you can go in and edit this at any time. So now you have a best practice, and Oslo is on the map. Way! And we have 26 clubs. So you can go in, I will save this, and then you can go in at any time and update it and, you know, fill it out a little more and all of that. And at the bottom, you just hit save. If you're working on it and you need to go like answer the door or make dinner or something, you can just put apply and then go back to it and save. But we're going to save that. And there it is.
Hi, Grace. If somebody wants to enhance an idea that somebody has brought up, instead of making another new shared practice, do they have access to go on to hers? Because what we do on that new members coffee is that we have a representative of each group and also Falco, and they give like 2 minutes talk, and you really catch their interest because a lot of people get involved that way.
Right. The next step, so I've just gone in, I've checked it, and I published it. So if you write up your own and you see it's not published, it's because I haven't given it the okay. I have the last word. So just if, you know, something funky comes through that we need to discuss, we can do that. Okay. At this point, you can go back in at any time and edit it and change it and add something more to it, or, you know, do whatever you want. The really fun part.
Can someone else add it?
So if another club wants to add on
Could
to
I
it?
edit Oslo's?
No, the person who created it can edit it. So that's a security, you know.
But wouldn't that be a situation if you wanted to comment on another, where you have a forum?
Exactly, I'm getting there.
That's my question.
I'm going to go backwards.
But Elizabeth, your name was on it.
Because I did it under my username password.
So will Oslo be still?
Yeah, so it will be under her, yeah. But anyway, now, oh yeah, that's a good question. To check that out with our web person. And when you go back to the library now, I'll get back to it. Okay, so as I mentioned the other day, the most commented is Hamburg. Yay! And as you see, so if you click on click on the Evite best practice that Tracy put into her club about using, oh no, sorry. Go back, sorry. So if I go under, well, why don't we look right now? We can choose a category. So remember when we put the one for Oslo in, we clicked membership, because she was talking about welcoming new members. If, for example, we put communications and do a search, what's going to come up are all of the best practices that all the clubs have put in the subject of communications. Okay, so we've actually got quite a few. There's some about social media, about using, yes, please.
I'm just wondering, because we have a search up at the top, if you just wrote best practices, would you not just come into this without having to go, if people can't remember where it is on your website? You know, we can search.
Oh yeah, you can just do search. Yeah. It will be, you know, on the home page in a kind of, you know, easy use way. In any case, for those of you reps, just go to the rep corner and everything is there.
Yes.
And so, for example, I wanted to show you the hamburger.
It's probably, it might be has been put in under a keyword activities. Is that possible? Why it's not showing up?
Oh, okay.
So the keyword you pick, the category you pick is pretty important.
Okay, so that's showing up, and you can do more than one category. So if you think, gosh, I don't know if that has to do with one thing or the other, they can actually be double listed.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the Hamburg one.
The second page. There.
Oh, I'm down the second page.
Second page.
Thank you. I'm really awake on this. Oh, Evite, there it is. Use of Evite. So you go, wow, what's Evite? That sounds really interesting. Go over there. And I click on the use of Evite. So you say, what is that? So Tracy put in one about there's club's use of using a website called evite.com for managing club events. And it's actually quite brilliant if you've seen a bit. So what happened is a few people thought that was really interesting and they put in comments. Where'd they go? That's interesting. Why aren't they there?
Add comment.
Yeah. So down here, if you say, well, gosh, my club has been using something very similar, but it's a different website, I can look at great idea, you know, great idea. Our club is using another website, website for this kind of activity, whatever, for invitations. Called, and you've been really happy with it.
A great one. This one's called Paperless Post, and it's very classy. They're sort of like creams, and they're always designed. Some of them are you have to pay for, but there are free ones.
Paperless?
Paperlesspostcard.com.
Yes, very elegant.
Okay. Obviously that's really part of the space here.
And
Really happy with it. And then she could put like AWG, you are. No, Paris, no, Paris. Okay. Great. Thank you. Your comments will be published once reviewed. Then once I review it, so when you go into one best practice, you might get a whole list of comments that other clubs have made about what they're doing around that same subject. So for example, for us, you can say, gosh, yeah, we do these other things to welcome newcomers. So let me tell you about it within the comments. And it can really get a conversation going. It will be very inclusive of all of those clubs that aren't able to share with us at a meeting. Is everything, I kind of want to move on, but is that clear? Yeah.
A question regarding the search. If you look for Evite, but you don't know under which category it is, but you do a general search for Evite.
Yes. It's a bit slow going around. But at the top of the, okay, here we go.
Invitation.
Search. There's keywords. So at the top, you can actually search by different ways. You could just search keywords. You could write, evites or online, what do you call them, invitations, if that's being used in there. So it's important what title you put in. I try to use a title that's as descriptive as possible what the practice is, so that if someone were looking for it as a keyword, they would be able to find it. You can look up a specific club. You say, well, I wonder, what so-and-so is doing. You can look up by club size. As I said, we thought that would be an interesting category because clubs that are small or large have some different issues. We also put down clubhouse because that's kind of a particular dividing line, etc. So in categories. Yes.
Speaking of club size, I just went on and looked up our clubs.
They're
practice,
wrong.
and it has our club size totally wrong.
Yeah, no, I know, because I put them in, just arbitrarily, because it wasn't on the.
How does one then go?
It was like 1 o'clock in the morning that I'm uploading these things. I just said,
All this today?
you can go in and edit and change it, or maybe I have to because I put it in. See if you can get in and change it, or whether I need to do that because I set it up. Okay, but that club size wasn't on the original form, and I have to go look for it somewhere else, and so it's one of those, work in process. We have to get that on the form. Okay. So the club size, if your club size isn't correct, I'm going to go back and take care of that at some point.
I just wondered whether we can.
Okay. Any questions? Does it seem like something that you could do tomorrow when you get back? How many people can do this on Tuesday? Yeah, and it doesn't have to be the best practice and you have to, lose sleep over. Something very particular that your club does that you think would be useful to share with other clubs. Okay? And then if later on you think of another one, just put another one out there. And the richer the library, the more use it is for everyone. Yes?
And while you're there, if you haven't registered to vote.
Oh, right!
To vote.
Okay. Quickly, I want to run through and let some of the protagonists. Today I'm going to call on people. A lot of you have told me about your best practices, which is all very nice, but words that are spoken kind of hang there in the air. And it's only the words that actually get translated into typing into the best practices library that we're actually able to share with other people. Okay, so today I'm only going to call on clubs that have actually made the effort to put their best practice in writing, and it's up in the library already. So we've got 26 clubs this morning. We've got one more in there. Just to show you what the categories are about. Okay, pick a category. Any category? Communications. Okay, and Tracy? Oh, there you are, right there. It's fun to see. Why don't you tell us a bit about this best practice of evites, which elicited all kinds of comments and conversation, and why you thought, first of all, what it is, and then why you decided to put this on as a best practice, and why you think that it's a best practice that other people would be able to take advantage of. I don't know if there's another microphone.
I can come up there.
Okay, it's one right here. There's one. Because we thought we were in the other room, and it's been kind of...
And I can shout it out. We had difficulties getting people to come to our events. Either they didn't know their friends were going to come, or they thought maybe people were going to be there that they didn't want to be with because they didn't know them, or whatever. We had very poor turnout for a lot of our events. Even our big events weren't as big as we wanted them to be. So our new activities chairperson, who actually had just come from the United States and had used evites for her things back home, decided this would be a pretty cool thing. So she just took the initiative to do it on her own, really without notifying the board or saying, hey, is this something I should do or not? And it turned out to be a boom in our club. It's a free online invitation, and it gets mailed to you at your private email address. Your name is not listed on the guest list
by name unless that is part of your email address. You're listed as your email address. So if you have a wonderful name like Topaz510, that's what you're listed as. So everybody, only your friends would really know which name. So if you're worried about security concerns there. You can also post your picture if you want to, or our activities person has randomly assigned you some kind of graphic for you. But you can see who's coming, who's replied, who's not yet replied, who's not coming, and you can also comment, oh, sorry, I'm going on a business trip, can't make it, but looks like fun, have fun. You get people who can't show up respond more if they can leave a comment, giving a reason why they can't come, because that tells the club, I'm interested in coming, I'm out of town, or it's my kid's wedding, or my son is in a recital at school. So the club knows it's not that she's not interested in coming, it's that she can't come. And that counts for a lot, because then these people are motivated to come to other events. They can come. Of course, we've had some event cancellations because it just is the wrong time of day, or nobody can really make it, the holidays are too close, or whatever. And through eVites, people who have signed up, the one or two, can also be notified that the event is canceled without a lot of telephoning around, et cetera, et cetera.
How big is your club?
We're about 125. But we've noticed about a 50% increase in event participation because of these eVites. Yes, it's the entire membership list.
One interesting point is if there's a reminder coming through, and I'm not sure if I replied or not. It says, when I click on it, it says you reply.
Yeah, did everybody hear that? eVite also sends out a reminder. I think you can stipulate how far in advance the reminder should be sent out, whether it's 3 days or a week in advance, that you have replied to this event, or you haven't replied to this event, and that it's coming up soon, so hit your button here and reply. Margaret?
I don't think you have to set that setting yourself, because I get those all the time because I forget.
No, I mean
the
coordinator. No, but the coordinator who sets up the invite can stipulate how often the reminder, or when the reminder comes.
It's automatic. Like if I get the reminder, and then I don't remember if I replied, so I click on it, and it says, how will you reply?
Yes, I know.
It's actually great. It's actually more connected.
Yes, I've also forgotten I've replied to things. I was very grateful. Oh, because I got a big dish for that. Robin?
Yeah, Tracy pitched this to us at the Region 5 meeting in November.
I love this idea. I tell it everywhere.
Yeah, and we went, Janet and I went home and got our activities people to get on it, and they did, and it's made a huge difference, just like you said it would.
I feel honored to have helped.
Yeah,
Well, it's true. I mean, we also send them out for things as simple as the board meeting, which is great because as the president, I don't even know when the board meeting is half the time, so I get a reminder a week ahead of time to my own board meeting, which is really helpful. But it's easier for me as the president to see which of my board members can come right off the bat and get the response.
Right. Another good thing about eVite is too is once you reply and you see your friends haven't replied, you call them and say, "I've replied yet."
Just a second, we can define a best practice as having an outcome. So what would you say if you were to put some kind of, I don't know, you get 30% more replies, you get increased participation by 10% or something. If there's some kind of quantifiable outcome that you can put on a best practice, then it really highlights why it's a best practice. So why do you think that this is a best practice? What has it changed in your club by using this particular way of doing things? Let's say not just what you do, but how you do it. We all communicate to our Center of Communications. We all communicate with our clubs to send out invitations to events, no? We all collect information on whether people are coming or not. So that's what we all do. But this is a different way. This is like how you do it in a different way that's getting a better outcome. So that would be like the definition when you're thinking, well, what do we do that's the best practice? It's about how you do something that everybody does. It's not just what you do. Like we all have a holiday bazaar or something. We all contact our club members. We all, we all have board turnover. But some of us do it just a little better than everybody else. We've got some secret formula that we think that could help other people, and it gives us a specific outcome. So what's your outcome?
Oh, membership participation has increased.
Okay. Okay.
which was difficult in our club.
Can you quantify it? How much?
Can I quantify it? I would say probably 50%.
Sounds like a best practice to me. And it elicited two very interesting comments. I always thought that this was a great idea, but did not know it only covered guest conference fees. And I think it would be great if faculty would include some club resources, some of the articles written by those attending. Oh wait,
That's a different
that's
our
I'm sorry.
We have many presentations.
This was on another. That was that one. Must be the other one. Here.
I can talk about that one too.
Yeah, that was another Hamburg. Hamburg got listening because they put in really thoughtful best practices that elicited comments. So when you're writing a best practice, you think, what kind of a best practice might elicit other clubs sharing what they're doing? And Hamburg, for some reason, it's always such a tremendous.
I hate to do that, not on my idea. Like
so here she joined in. Another great site that we use at AIWC Cologne is called Coco.dot, which can be found at whatever. The invitations are beautiful, ad-free, and free to send online. Now we've just gotten another comment of paperless post. So if we all comment on that one, you as a club might find 4 different options of e-bites that other clubs have used. Then you can go and show them to your board. Look, there are 4 different options. I'm not shoving this down your throat. There are 4 different clubs that Falco have used, and this is what they found to be useful. And we can have we have like a, what do you call it, stamp of approval from our sister clubs around the world, etc. So you started a revolution. There's one that they haven't put it on as a best practice yet, but there was that other Amiando. Would you mind, because Amelia asked me to mention that one actually, because they used it for the regional. Here, get up and take that.
I think Cheryl can speak about that.
Because for the Region 9 meeting.
Can I ask a question in the meantime?
Sure.
When you, after someone responds, if they're coming, is there a mechanism where you can send information back to them? Because we don't tell people where the location, for security reasons, the location of our meeting until they RSVP, so that we're not putting it out there in general. Is there a way?
Well, I can only speak for e-bike.
Yeah.
There is a comment section, and I know that other people have asked questions. We had a potluck Thanksgiving thing, and somebody wrote, "Do you have enough mashed potatoes?" And the host, the person who set up the invitation, wrote back, "No, we need another portion." So there is a way to communicate. And that stays confidential.
Okay, and
Yeah.
only to people.
But it's only people who have gotten the invitation in email. There's also a little box you can check off to please notify me when anybody responds to this invitation. So you can opt to have your mailbox, get a few more emails in it. So everybody who said they're coming or not. Well, if, you know, I'm involved in planning, I want to know who's coming. So I can comment. What happens on that day. For me?
The other thing that you get is sometimes there's a location change. And so you'll get a follow-up email that they've had to change the location or adjust the time, or they give you more information about who the speaker's going to be or something like that. So I'm sure that
Okay, these are 2 American Women's Club of Hamburg members. You can tell they're excited about it. They know it works.
Took the cards.
well, what's nice
Everything
is
out.
you get the email even if you're on vacation in the States, so that you know when you're coming back, what's coming up.
Okay, and Shell, for Region 9, Elaine went to the Region 9 meeting and she came back and she goes, "Wow, we should be using the system that they use to register everyone for the conference," because she was blown away at how easy and seamless the system that they use. So now you have an obligation in front of all of these people that you're going to write it up.
I will. I saw that we did.
And I'm good
put that on.
I'm going to be at the end. Okay, we'll do a little exercise just when we close, but I will be your accountability partner. So I will email you to make sure that you've done it.
I'm Cheryl Martina from AWA Dubai, and we use a service called Amiando. It works really, really well for our organization. I think we've been using it for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years.
Can you spell it?
Amiando. Yeah, and a lot of people still have trouble saying it that are in our club. Amiando is a service that we use. All of our sign-ups are through our website. We don't do any paper notifications on anything. All our members go to our website, so we tell them frequently, go to awadubai.org and sign up for everything. Our meetings, we have 2 meetings a month. We have a general meeting and a meet and greet. They sign up for both of those. Our general meeting has a fee. Our meet and greets are free. We sign up all of those things through Amiando, so they click on whichever event they want to go to. It immediately takes them over to the Amiando page. They put in their information. If there's a fee, they put in their credit card, and they pay. So we're not having to deal with any cash. Everything's paid through Amiando. At the end of the month, Amiando sends us the money through a wire transfer. It goes directly into our bank account. So it frees us up from having to deal with taking any cash for anything. Yes?
Is it free to use it, or do they take
There is a charge. It's free on our events that are free. We don't pay anything. On our meetings and activities, it's 5.5%. And then if it's we have a gala every year, which 100% of those proceeds go to philanthropy and scholarship. That's a charity event, so it's 5%. They give us a little bit of a break. So there is a small fee. So what we do is we see that our meetings, whatever it's going to cost, we add 5.5% or maybe 6%, just pop it up a little bit to that, so that the member is actually paying the fee. And then if, we have a cancellation policy. If our meetings we have our meetings on Tuesday, the deadline to sign up is Saturday, because of course we have to notify the hotel. We have them in hotels. We have to notify the hotels of numbers. If someone cancels before that deadline for whatever reason, then we'll refund the money minus that 5.5%. They all understand that because, of course, we can't lose money. So it works really well. We use it for, like I said, every single event that we have. And even our silent auction, at the gala we have a silent auction, so our webmaster sets up a silent auction page that only the board members can get into. At the end of the silent auction, people pay us with credit card, and it all goes through Amiando. So 100% of our funds come into our account through Amiando. Yes?
Is there a restriction as to which credit cards they can use?
No, there are glitches in the system, of course. A lot of us have U.S. credit cards. I've never had a problem using my U.S. credit card. Some of us have local UAE credit cards, and people use those also. Occasionally, it will reject a card, and you just try a couple of hours later, and it will go through. I found that when I was taking the money for the silent auction this past month, people would give me credit cards, and of course I knew they were good, but it would just say, the charge wouldn't go through. I'd wait like 2 or 3 hours, go in again, and it would go through. They're based in Germany, so it's not even a U.S. However, the U.S. credit cards work really well. Monica?
I don't know how many of you know, but 2 months ago, or I'm not sure when the change happened, but when you signed up for this conference, you used Amiando.
Oh, I didn't realize that. So she's saying you all used Amiando if you signed up for this conference within the last 2 months.
Yeah, I think so, because it was PayPal initially, and there was a problem, and so we had to switch meetings because she'd seen what we used in July. Asked me for the information, I sent it to her, and now that's how you signed up. So you've already experienced it.
Yeah, and additionally, Amiando, you can set up similar to the Evite reminder you were talking about, you can set it up to send